Batman Forever for the Sega Mega Genesis Drive thing. Also available for the Super Nintendo, the Game Boy, the Game Gear, and who knows what else. Yeah, back in the day, games were released for f***ing everything. Released in 1995 by Acclaim, and right off the bat you can tell this is a mid-1990s video game during the height of the Mortal Kombat craze, because it plays almost exactly like Mortal Kombat as far as control setup goes. High punch, high kick, low kick, block, down punch to gives you an uppercut. The only thing missing here are the fatalities. However, Batman Forever, as you could probably tell, is a side-scrolling action game with few platforming elements and acrobatic feats thrown in for good measure. But it plays like Mortal Kombat. Sure, that'll work fine. Fuck me. Yeah, this game does not have many fans, and unfortunately I'm another member of that group of people who cannot stand this game. I can remember back in my younger years when Batman Forever was brand spanking new, and an acquaintance had bragged about how he had the game and how it was all kinds of awesome, and how it was like Batman crossed with Mortal Kombat or something. I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, dude, are you on f***ing drugs? Even feeble-minded teenage me knew that this crossover of gaming philosophy was a bad idea. A bad idea. Turn Batman into a Final Fight clone? Yeah, okay, I can dig that. It's kinda satisfying. Give Batman a gun to blow shit up? Okay, fine. Not quite Batman, but hey, that game turned out alright. Put Batman in a slow-moving platformer and give him Mortal Kombat's control schemes? Good God, no. You know, it just feels really weird and somewhat cumbersome at times, but that's Acclaim for you. They'll try to push that Mortal Kombat style to as many games as they can, even if it doesn't suit the material. It's just a good thing Midway themselves didn't go for a platformer with MK-like controls. Oh, wait. No wonder they went out of business. There's generally a bit of a learning curve in figuring out how to perform the necessary moves such as the grappling hook or the air glide. The game's main focus is on combat with a capital K. Control in general is pretty abysmal, just god-awful. Even with a moves list on hand with all the commands, trying to execute a special move is close to a miracle because controls will do their very best not to respond to your very specific commands. Which means you'll often resort to button mashing, which can only get you so far in this game, because that tends to be unresponsive at times as well. It's just... And by the way, I'm using a 6-button controller here and it still plays like crap. I don't even want to think about the headaches of trying to deal with the hassle of playing this thing with the stock 3-button controller. Jesus Christ, this is sad. Anyway, gameplay in Batman Forever, and I say that in the loosest sense of the term, involves Batman or Robin, you can play as one or the other, roaming around a room, finding bad guys to fight and beating them up. And once a certain number of enemies are defeated, you can proceed to the next area and repeat the cycle all over again. What fun! Sometimes they toss in additional goals such as rescuing security officers, that sort of thing, but you know those games I alluded to before? You know how fast-paced and exciting those games looked? Yeah, Batman Forever's the complete opposite. It's just dull as hell and the god-awful controls do little to lessen the blow. I mean, there are bad games you want to get through despite the game, and then there's bad games that make you wish you'd never touched a video game ever in your life. Batman Forever is one of the latter. Oh, it is definitely one of the latter. Sound is somewhere between the mediocre and the mundane. There's some voice samples featuring quotes from the movie, but they sound grainy as per course on Genesis hardware. Also par the course on Genesis hardware, whenever developers don't give a shit, are sound effects so ear-grating they are beyond words. And then there's the music. Oh, man, that music. Oh, sweet merciful crap on a stick, that music. How in the blue hell did this get approved? This blows. Oh dear. Batman Forever looks pretty dreadful on the Sega Genesis. I'd imagine the Super Nintendo version would look a bit better with all the digitized actors and background items, but on the Genesis hardware it looks really grainy and really bad, especially with all the dark tones and blackness in general. There's few instances where the pre-rendered backdrops come anywhere close to looking decent, but they are very few in between. People would probably easily be impressed with that the Genesis could pull something like this off visually, which probably means they haven't played games like Vector Man or The Adventures of Batman and Robin, both of which sport amazing visuals on the Genesis, especially the Batman and Robin game, which looks amazing and has some of the best graphics on the console, even if the game is hard as hell and most people would probably not see some of the better visuals the game sports. But I guess I should give Batman Forever some credit. The character animation's rather fluid, and they look kinda okayish, but kinda okayish isn't really good enough, especially when half of it blends with the background. Batman Forever is an example of a game shoehorned into a style that doesn't suit it. If this were a straight-up fighting game based on the Mortal Kombat mechanics, I could have given the game a pass. But it's not. It's a side-scrolling platforming beat-em-up combat thing that tries to apply many different genres into a single game and utterly fails at getting any of it right. There's virtually no substance to be found in Batman Forever, and what style is present is not very appealing either. There are tons of better Batman games to be found on either the Sega Genesis or the Super Nintendo, or anywhere else for that matter, so you might be better off finding one of those games to fill your Batman fix. This one, not that great. It's pretty bad, putrid, god-awful. Crap, poop. I don't know. Don't bother with this one. It's crap. Stick with the movie. It's much better. Significantly better than the video game. Oh, and the arcade game also blows. Good night.